Hello students, in the previous lecture we have seen a little bit about the strings data type. Now we will see little bit more about the string data types. In the previous lecture we have talked about the identity of this of a string, that is single quotation, double quotation or triple quotation. But let us say in the previous example we have seen the Kaveri river has 12 characters. Similarly, here you can see the number of characters as 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 2 white spaces, that is 10. You can count it, but there are some cases where you cannot count the number of characters inside a string. Just like in the triple quotation, you are unsure about what is the number of characters here. So, in order to do this, there is a help from the Python side, and it is from a function known as len function. The role of the len function is to give you the numbers of characters in a given string. So, what is the syntax for this one? Here you can see this is the len function, again white is the function because it is in the parenthesis. Next, the string variable, because since we are dealing with the string variables, so we are limiting ourselves only to the strings. We are not talking about the different data types. So, here you can see we can use the len function. We are using on the Kaveri river this len function. The output for this one will be the 12, because the print function is the outside the len function, that means the value must be displayed by the computer. The same way is here. Now, the number of white spaces are unknown to you, but with the help of len you can identify it, what is the number of characters here. So, let us check out the output. In the Kaveri river you can see this, the number of characters are 12, but in the Kaveri river in the second example, here you can see the number of characters are 23. So, this len function is very helpful in order to get the number of characters in a list. But the one thing must be remembered here, to use the print function. It is a very good habit to use the print function in order to get the output or to confirm the output. The next thing is we will talk of different some methods related to the string. Now, here we are written that this is a method, but here you can see in this slide it is a little like a function. Here it is also written like a function, because the methods are the function, but these are basically the special type. So, these are the special types of functions. Here you can see it is having the same syntax for the function. It is just like the name of a function followed by the parenthesis. This is what a function look like when you are calling it. So, here the syntax or the similarity is almost same. Similarly, for this one, the lower you can see it is almost resembling the function, but it is still under the heading of method, because these are the special types of methods which are applicable to the specific data type. Just look at like a Sachin Tendulkar as an example. The straight drive for Sachin Tendulkar is representing the straight drive for the Tendulkar only. That means that straight drive, whenever you are going to look at the straight drive, it belongs to Tendulkar. The same thing is that these functions only belongs to the specific data types. That means these special functions which are referred as methods. These methods are basically the some special functions given to the specific data type. Since we are talking of a string data type, that means the methods or the special function related to the strings are only applicable to the string data type. So, here you can see that we are applying the first method and it is for string only. Here the name variable is a string. How I am going to confirm it? Because the data is written in the quotation mark. Since it is in a quotation mark, that means it is a string data type. Now, look at the very first method. Now, here you can see the very first method is the upper method. Now, in upper method, it directly says that whenever you have a string and you want to convert that string into uppercase. So, we have the string, the Kaveri river is perennial, and here you can see there are lots of lowercase alphabets. In order to convert the whole string into the uppercase, you can directly take the help from the upper method. The syntax is very similar. Here the string variable or the string is there. Now, I am saying the string variable or a string. That means, you can directly put a string or you can put the variable as a string variable. So, here this name is a string variable followed by this dot. Now, this is the difference between a function and a method. Next thing is the method name. The method name is upper, that converts the string into uppercase followed by the round bracket. And of course, you need to write this thing inside the print in order to get the output. So, here you will see that Kaveri river is perennial is converted into the Kaveri river is perennial in uppercase. So, it is returning the value in uppercase because we have used the upper method. Similarly, there is a method to convert the string into the lower case. Here you can see this name is lower. The only syntax change is the lower, and here the example all rivers are not perennial. This will be converted wholly into the lower case alphabets. Let us confirm it. Now, look at this one. In the first one, the variable holds the Kaveri river is perennial. There are lots of lowercase alphabets, but once you have passed it name dot upper, you can see the output. All things are related in the upper case. Similarly, in the name dot lower, you can confirm that all things are converted into the lower case. Next method is very important. It is a replace method. When we want to replace it, one of the property or the characteristics of the Python language, it is very similar to the English language. So, it is like an English dictionary. So, whenever we are going to replace it, the meaning of the replace means we are trying to replace something. So, here we are again doing the same thing. Our data is Kaveri river and I just want to substitute this Kaveri with a Godavari. So, how I am going to do this with the help of method, because the method is only applicable to the string data type, since this is a string data type. So, I will just use this method, which is replace. So, the string followed by dot followed by the replace method. Now, look at the difference in the previous methods and this one is it takes some additional information. So, here you are putting the first parameter. This first parameter is taken as what you are going to replace. You need to mark it that this value must be replaced. So, here in this Kaveri river must be replaced. One most important point must be noted here, that these all things are case sensitive. That means, this small Kaveri and capital Kaveri are two different entities. So, you must be very careful about this one, that is these data are case sensitive. So, the first parameter shows you that what thing must be replaced, you need to mark it. So, we are marking the Kaveri and by which data we are going to replace it? By Godavari. That means, the Kaveri will be replaced with Godavari. Similarly, in the next method you can see the writing is split method. Now, in this split method again you get the string, but the portion of the strings. It is just like I have a piece of paper and I want some squares out of that paper. So, we are going to split that piece of paper. Now, here we have this data. Now, again this data is a string data type. So, this split method is specially designed for string data type only. So, here again the same syntax, name followed by this dot followed by the method's name. Now, the important parameter is here. Now, you need to split the string by which character or from where you want to split it. So, this character is basically white space. So, this white space is the marking point for the splitting in this string. So, you will see this white space is there, this one is there. So, we are getting the 4 substring Kaveri river is perennial. These 4s are the substring which will be written from the parent string. Now, look at this code. Yes, we have run this code and you can see why I have marked this one, because have you looked this one, square brackets. There is one data type which has the identity of a square bracket. So, which data type it is? The question here is, whenever you are performing the split method, the answer is of course the substrings, but the data type is something else. So, you need to confirm is which type of data type it is. I have just already given you the identity of this data type, the square brackets, and the commas are the separation points. You might know the answer of this one. Now, we are going to see for the concatenation process. The concatenation process means we are joining them. Just like in the mechanical, welding is the one process by which we can perform the joining of two things. Here we are again joining, but what we are joining is the strings. Look at this one, we have defined the 3 variables A, B, C as atom, bottle, caret, and we are trying to make the 3 more variables out of it with the help of plus operator. Now, for the performing of the concatenation, this plus operator is very important. So, whenever you are performing the joining of the strings with this plus operator, it is known as concatenation, and we have already 3 variables as string. That means, with the plus we will concatenate it. Now, look at this one, the D variable is coming out of from A plus B plus C. Similarly, the E variable is coming from A plus C plus B. Now, there is only one difference between these two things, that the B and the C positions are just interchanged with each other. In the D here you can see the values is A, B, C, and in the E you can see the values is A, C, B. So, this is the only two difference, and you will see what will be the output. Now, look at the output. This is atom, bottle, caret, but in the next case it is atom, caret, bottle. That means, the order is very important in concatenation process. That means, if you are putting B and C, the atom A, B, C, A, B, C's are together, but if you are putting A, C, B, that means atom, caret, bottle is there. Next important point is that this data is totally joined together. There is no spaces, so there is no separation of data. You cannot identify which data is which one. So, in order to make this much more clear, you can use the white spaces in between. So, here you can see you can easily identify the data as atom, bottle and caret as 3 elements. Now, the next process is very important. Now, string conversion, or you can say the casting of the string. This is the very remarkable question. The string into the integer can be converted or not. Here the first variable is 1, 2, 3. Is it a number or is it a string? Now, here this quotation mark is there, that means it is not a number, it is a string data type. Similarly, in the B we have the string, and in the C we also have the string, but with the single quotations. Next important point is we are trying to convert this integer. this a into the integer, is it going to perform it or not? Yes, it is going to, because in a string the number is there. You can see it is a pure number, but the number, it is not in the numeric data, it is in string data. So, you can convert that data by using the casting. In casting, we are using the constructor function, and we just put the data, the string, and we are going to convert it with the help of int constructor. So, here you can see that 123 is the number, and here you are getting the number as 123. But what about this k? You know the value of k in characters, it is written as 65 plus something. So, here this k is a character, but again there is no such type of character in Python. So, it is treated as a string, but here the answer is that the value error is there, the invalid literal for the int with the base 10. It directly says that if you have the number in a string, totally pure number in a string, then only the int will help to convert that string into the number. But if you are putting some string variable and trying to convert it, it will not. Similarly, for the next one, because here you can see it has stopped at the line 6. The line 6 means this line. Now, again it is an interpreter language, that means it will stop at the moment it will encounter the error. So, again you can see that it is just struck there, and it is not confirming the validation of the next code, because it is an interpreter language. This last method is very important. This method is known as format method. Now, here what we are saying is the string and the numbers cannot be concatenated at the same time. That means, you cannot concatenate a number with a string. It is against the rules of the Python, because the Python also has some rules, and as per that you cannot concatenate a number with a string. But then how you are going to perform it? The joining of the string and a number. Well, there is a two option, either convert the string into a number or the number into the string. So, here let us try the first step, that the number into the string. This is the first one. The second one is you can convert the string into the number. But in the second step, you have already seen in the previous slide that if it is a pure number, then only it is converted into the integer, otherwise it cannot be. So, we cannot prefer the second one, but we can prefer the very first step, that means the number can be converted into a string data type. Yes, this is the basic principle for the formatting method. Here what we are seeing is we are converting this number, that means we are formatting this number, and we will place that number where this placeholder is there. That means, you need to identify the position where you need to place the numbers with this placeholder. This placeholder is a curly bracket. Now, look at the example, we are trying to put this 94 int value inside this string. Now, in this string we know the position where we are going to put this one. So, this placeholder will be the position at which this integer will be there. Now, we are just going to take the help from the format method, and here what it is, the name of the string followed by the data followed by the method's name, in bracket you are going to pass that integer which values must be placed at the placeholder. So, the output of this one will be my name is Ravi and I got 94 marks in maths. Similarly, in the next one you can see we are dealing with more than one integer 94, 85, and in txt you can see that we have two placeholders. So, this is a compulsory condition that number of values and number of placeholders both must be same. The next thing is, now we are passing the information. So, what is the order? Well, it is just like a first in first out, just like in the queue or in hospitals you have seen, if you got the first number, that means the services provided to you will be the first, followed by the next one. The same thing is here, the rule followed as FIFO. That means first in, first out. That means the very first value of the integer will be placed at the first placeholder. The second will be at the second holder. So, the output of this one is my name is Ravi and I got 94 marks in maths and 85 marks in science. The next thing is you can confirm it. The 94, my name is Ravi and I got 94. Similarly, you can see we are using the triple quotation here, and the output is 94 marks in maths, 85 marks in science. Now, let us say I just want to put the numbers at a specific position. Then how I am going to do it? By using the format method. Now, here you can see the very first line what it is. It is a multiple variable line. Here the mark 1 will have the value 55, mark 2 will have the 80. In the second one you can see the mark 3 and 4 have the same value 70, and we are just putting the values at particular specified location. Now, these locations are marked with this index number. Now, you are going to ask me, sir, where this index number? Well, it is generally related to these parameters. That means the first variable will be treated as with index number 0, similarly the next one and the last one as 3. So, here the mark 1 will have the index number 0. The next thing is, now in parenthesis you can see in the placeholders this thing is, this number is mentioned, this number is index number. So, here you can see that this number 1 is there. That means the value of one index number mark 2 will jump at this position. Similarly, the first will jump at this position. You can confirm it by looking at the output, and here it is. The first positions you can see I got 80 marks, the last one is the 0, that is 94 marks in English. The last topic related to the string is the strings are immutable. Now, the question arises, what do you mean by immutable? Now, here the immutable means that, let us say, look at this example, like the name is Manish Aumar. You know Aumar, Manish Aumar is there, the data, it is in string format. You can see by using the subscription we can access the value for 0, 7, 11, minus 1. But can I change the value? I am trying to replace the value, I am trying to replace the assignment, declaring the value, I am trying to reassign the value to this 8th position, that is the A. I am trying to replace the position or this value with something known as K. Is it possible? Now, this thing is known as immutable. That means, whatever the characters you have inside this string, you cannot replace it, you cannot substitute it, and neither you can update it. But yes, you can reassign this whole value with some value, but that is not termed as immutable. The immutable means the internal values must be changed or not. Since the characters of a string cannot be changed, that means it is known as immutable. Here you can see the string object does not support the item assignment. That means you cannot assign it. So, we are trying to assign the value, but we cannot. So, this is how the immutability of the string can be proved. With this, I will summarize that we have done lots of methods related to the string data type. You see the special functions like the upper, lower, split, replace, and the last one is of course the format. This is the important one, where we are formatting the integer into the string data type and we are placing it at the placeholder. At the last, we have seen how a string is called as immutable. That means the internal elements or the characters cannot be replaced with some data type. or neither they are updated. With this, I will end my lecture here. Thanking to all of you. Have a nice day.